Welcome to the 30th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to those returning viewers, and for those of you who are watching us for the first time, glad you could join us. Today's adventure takes us to Owen Sound, Ontario and Meaford, Ontario. But before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
So when we went to Orlando, and you've seen this as one of my souvenirs, I bought this, which holds, thanks you May, that's going to make my life easier. So it's from Wool & Wire, and what it is, it's a necklace, but you put on your stitch markers on it. It looks nice, so I could add 2 or 3 other ones. They actually also sell just the stitch markers as well, but I really like it, and I think too, yeah. I might wear it to work next week. But that's it.
And the last podcast I had said as a challenge that I'm going to try and, make one of those myself.
Right.
So, what I'm wearing is the one that I made for
and you have
myself.
Done an amazing job.
At probably half the price, I'm not sure, but
I would imagine it might be, but that's okay.
Anyway, yeah, it turned out not too bad, so I might make a couple more of those.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah. You really did a good job.
It's great for a knitter because you cut your little stitch marker and it comes right out.
Yeah.
Comes out like that, and you can have more than one stitch marker on there. You can have a few of them on there. So yeah.
And it looks really, really good. You've done an amazing job. You're always so talented.
Well, I try. I say, what's that saying they say?
They do say jack of all trades, master of none.
I could be Jill of all trades, master of none. How's that?
Well, you're master of that. I think that looks really, really good.
Oh, well, thanks.
There you go. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My finished objects today involve a lot of pairs of socks. We had lots of birthdays in May, and then I owed some to May here because the ones that I knit for you, they weren't going to be comfortable for you, and then I made some for a friend of mine at work, and so it's just been socks a whole lot. So I'm going to show you once again. You've heard this. It's Katy Lou's sock pattern by Dragonpine Designs. It's my favorite because it has the ribbing in it, and what it allows it, if somebody that you're making it for is far away, like Kevin in Hong Kong, then what happens is it doesn't have to fit perfectly. It's not a vanilla sock that if it's too loose, it's going to fall down. If it's too tight, it won't fit. It kind of has some give, and so that's why I like it. So Kevin's was the first pair that I had to finish, and I made that out of Perfect Pair. And this is by Loops&Threads, and it is acrylic and viscose and polyester. And I'm going to have May put up a picture right here because I had to send them to him. So they got to him in time. They've arrived safely in Hong Kong, and he really likes them. He always tells me that my socks look very professional, so that makes me very happy. So that was the first pair that I had to do. The second pair, once again, Katy Lou's sock pattern, was a pair for Taylor, who's my son's girlfriend. And I did that in wool-free sock. And it's Premier Yarns. I'm just holding that up. May will take pictures of these. And once again, she's going to put a picture of those socks right here. Thank you. And these also do not have any wool in them. So it's 93% acrylic and 7% PBT. Now, I can tell you that both Taylor and Kevin were thrilled with their socks. That makes me really happy. Same pattern again, Katy Lou sock pattern, and for my colleague at work, whose name is Jennifer, and I've worked with her for the last 4 years. It's been such a pleasure. I used Woolcraft Superwash sock yarn. And this is yarn. This is a second skein. I bought 2 skeins, and it came from Glasgow from last year. And I thought I wanted her to have something special. So she's retiring. I'm retiring, and so I wanted to be able to give her something special.
And Jennifer is definitely sock worthy.
She is definitely sock worthy. So
especially Glasgow sock worthy she is, because she's been a great colleague, and I know Jennifer myself, and she's been so kind and she's a great, what she does at her job is wonderful.
She is fantastic. I've learned so much, so it's been a joy. So I was glad, and she's tried them on, and they fit. Now this yarn is 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide. It says hand wash. And so I think she can do that, just kind of lay to dry, and it should be just fine. So nice. That is that.
And Glasgow, who knew?
I know.
Wonderful.
Then, so these are a little early, and if my son's girlfriend in Hong Kong watches. Well, she's going to see them, but that's okay. So what I decided is that sometimes Hong Kong is very warm. In fact, it's a little warm a lot of the time, and I wanted to try a different sock pattern. So what I did was I made the Rose City Rollers.
It's like the Bay City Rollers. Remember that group?
It is. Actually, and they say this pattern is no way affiliated with the roller derby team. So there must be a roller derby team with that. And this is a pattern by, just let me get the name. This is by Mara Catherine Bryner. And I really enjoyed the pattern. I really liked it. So this is, once again, this perfect pair.
They're so soft. The yarn you used was amazing.
Yes, and this, actually, the colorway is called Drive All Night, is what it is, which I think it's cute. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that those will fit her. I've made her socks before, and I think they'll kind of be nice to wear.
And for Hong Kong, they're nice being short because it's, you know, it's the weather, like you say, is different, and they're not going to be too warm in Hong Kong. But they still sometimes, it gets cool there sometimes too. So
exactly,
it's perfect.
So that's that. So once again, socks. And then here's the trick. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. So what I have decided is that when I'm done making socks, there's always a little bit of yarn left. And what could I do with those? Well, I thought I will make people Christmas ornaments. So this is a pattern called an Oddness of Socks. It says small socks for any occasion. It's by Leanne Holmes. I'll just hold that up so you can see that. And I started with Kevin's. So his is the first one.
This is a background. Maybe that will be able to see it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You can see it a little bit better. Oh, it's so cute, Colleen. I can't wait to give these as Christmas gifts.
So, oh my goodness. So the neat thing is they're going to have a pair of big socks, and then I'm going to do a little sock just like that. So I was thrilled. It's fiddly, there's no doubt about it, but if you've made a pair of socks, and it works nice. And they do an I-cord around the top, and the loop is an I-cord, and I really like this pattern. It's really, really good.
I think the boys are going to appreciate that on the tree. When they hang it on their little tree, they're going to know. You can put a candy cane in there.
We could do that, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
So I'm thrilled with that.
Good idea.
Okay, so now we're going to stop socks for just a minute, and I want to talk about the Creekside Crescent. So this is a pattern by Cozy Up Knits. I love their podcast, by the way.
Cozy Up Knits?
Cozy Up Knits. And I'm just going to talk about the yarn. Can you hold that up for me?
Sure.
So that is all the yarn I have left. And I love patterns that use up all that because I have very little left. So this is Pima cotton, 100% Pima cotton. And it is amazing to work with. So in this skein, you get 437 yarns. This one is called Jewel, and then the other one is called Teal, which makes sense because it's teal. And I have to say,
nice combination.
I said, yeah, I know it. I was happy. So
you know, I'm just going to say, would that make a little pair of little socks?
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. Those would be great, a little pair of socks. So did you think of that already?
I did.
Oh.
Which is why it's safe and sound and all wound up.
Oh, that's lovely.
I think it's going to be great.
Nice.
So that's that. Now, this yarn was bought last year when I was in Calgary, and I was so thrilled. I picked this yarn up in Airdrie. And so it reminds me of that, but as I said, the pattern is brilliant. It uses it all up. There is a cotton cal that is going to end, and I think they said it's the 21st of June, so it's almost there. But I'm just going to show you this. It is brilliant.
This turned out really nice. Have you blocked this already?
Yes, I've blocked it. So
oh my gosh, this is gorgeous.
I'm so happy with how it turned out.
Oh my gosh, it's lovely. And it's so light.
It is.
Colors are beautiful.
I think, once again, I could wear this to work at the end of the year. So I did block it, and if you can see on the edge, I blocked out all these points, and it really looks nice when it's on. Right here,
right, yeah. I don't know if you can see those on the camera, but the details on this are amazing.
And
the
it's
colors
lacy,
are gorgeous.
and it's light.
Wow.
Yeah, so I am so happy with that.
Well, you should be happy with that. That is beautiful. I think we could sell your stuff.
Well, you could, but I really want to wear it.
But, I don't know where we're going to put it. We're going to have to move out. Because how many of these do you have?
I have a number of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that what may be a good thing to do, and I don't know if anybody else has any ideas.
What do they do with your things?
Option one is, at the beginning of every new season, so maybe I'm looking at September, October next year, either sell what you have.
Right.
The ones that you don't think you'll be wearing, or donate them.
Right.
And I'm not sure which I'm going to do of those two
Okay.
things, but I think it might be a good idea because you're right. I mean, I love knitting shawls. They make me happy to do. But I think you're right. You can
only have too many. But,
Exactly.
Maybe the viewers out there have some ideas as to what they do with all their knitted items.
That would be great. Please
You know,
comment below.
Maybe
I'd appreciate
Etsy. Do
that.
people sell things like that on Etsy?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let us know that. That would be great.
Yes.
So those are my finished objects. And now May's going to talk about her finished objects.
I have a few finished objects today. One, again, was the necklace that I finished. I don't know when I have time to do that, so I look at the stuff looking back, and I look at, when did I have time to do that? But anyway, it happened.
You did.
Somewhere along
That's
the line.
right.
Of course, last episode, I talked about photography, and I talked about blowing your photos up. You might as well enjoy them.
Exactly.
I think it's a great idea, so I thought I better take some of my own advice and do more of that. So I had one last episode, and in this episode, I also have another one that I blew up that brings me joy because it's a castle in the Isle of Arran, and I love that day that we had there.
It was beautiful.
And that picture, every time I look at it now, I think, oh, every day.
And what's the name of the castle?
Lacranza Castle.
It was.
On the Isle of Arran in Scotland. It was amazing. Anyway, it was a photograph blown up, and it
And
hangs
we
up.
got to see the ruins of your
great grandmother. Yes, which
not the great grandmother.
no, not her
the great
ruins.
grandma's house.
Yes, which was really kind of interesting.
I
yeah.
know. Just so to have you be sitting on
I know.
what was left of probably their hearth.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
just a stone there,
Yeah.
but it's where my great grandmother had 10 of her children. So yeah, and then this is actually the view that she would have looked onto. So
I can't imagine. It's
you know,
beautiful.
again, if you have, I want to inspire you to get your photos. If there's some photos that you really brings you joy, to blow them up and have them displayed and up, and it's nice. It's nice around the house.
Exactly.
Also, so that's, I've got this, I've got my photograph,
Exactly.
and also it was Mother's Day, quite a while back, and Colleen's mom lives in a retirement home where the biggest thing is that they display what do you call them?
Wreaths?
Wreaths on their doors.
Yeah,
so it's a
sometimes
big
have
thing.
pictures, yeah.
But it's something that they all like to do.
they
and
do.
put
And change them up every month and yeah.
or for the season or
Yeah.
the month or whatever they do. So I thought for Colleen's mom it would be nice to give her something unique for her door. And so I went on Pinterest and looked at all kinds of different things for door wreaths, and I came up with the one that I liked that kind of drew my attention. Now this one isn't finished. I'll put a picture up of the one that I had actually finished for Colleen's mom. But what I did is you take a hose, this hose like this, I cut it in half, and then on the end, as you can see, I made a paper mache, what do you call that?
Nozzle?
Nozzle. Paper mache nozzle on the end, so it wouldn't be too heavy, because you can buy the nozzles quite cheap, like for $3 or something, but
Yeah.
I thought it was too heavy for the door.
Right.
So I just made a paper mache one, which took about 4 days to dry around the house. It was
All
very
over.
interesting. But anyway, it turned out quite okay. And then I put some tinsel, real tinsel, out of the hose to make it look like it was raining or water coming out of the hose. And then you do this kind of thing. You just put the flowers there, and then you've got that on the door. So her mom likes gardening and flowers, and
It was
That's what was
amazing.
good.
She was so thrilled. Oh my goodness. So are you going to put the picture in here?
yes.
Okay.
And so there's the picture, and yeah, your mom was very happy with that.
She
and
was thrilled.
yeah. So that was my finished objects, and that's
Next.
about it.
Perfect. And next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress, in fact it's my only work in progress, is another pair of socks. So these are the socks that are going to replace May's socks that I knit her earlier. Once again, it is the Katy loose sock pattern. Once again, we know it fits your feet, so it makes me happy. And I don't mind experimenting on mine, but for my feet, but when it's for somebody else's feet, we have to go through the process. So last November, I won some yarn from Cozy Up Knits. So they had done a blue brick knit along, and I'd entered a cowl, and the random number generator did that, and so I won. And part of the prize was some yarn, and it was by Octopus yarns, and it came in that flattened, with all the air sucked out
Airtight.
of it, and you cut it open and it makes it big. But it was broken into 2 skeins, so 2 50-gram skeins, so it would be for knitting socks 2 at a time.
Oh, really?
You don't have to, but when it's split like that, it's nice to do. So the good news is for me, I had an opportunity to go to the Little Red Mitten in St. Thomas, one of my local yarn stores, and I took a class about knitting socks 2 at a time. I am so glad I took that class because there was a lot of, once you get it going, it's great, but that first little bit of figuring it out, it's a little confusing because you have to handle first part, second part, and all those kind of things.
Now you're away with it.
Now that I've got it, I am very, very happy about it. I am using Chow needles.
yeah.
So let me hold up this. Yeah, I'm getting close. So there is what's left. I probably have another maybe inch before I have to finish the toes. I've had May try this on. The nice thing about Magic Loop is she can squeeze her foot in. It lets me know, is everything fitting the way it needs to do. Now it's funny because I think what's happening is these socks are knitting up in reverse order. So I think when I wound these things, they are just exactly opposites because you can see that the colors are starting to change in. I think they're great. I really
think they're
like them.
unique, and it makes. I think it's kind of cool. They've got the same color, palette, so it's kind of like a matching sock to me. I like that. I think they're great. I can't wait to wear them, and they're nice and
yes,
soft.
they've got their merino and nylon, so I know they feel really nice for you. They've been so nice to knit with, and as I said, it's been a joy to learn how to do the 2 at a time. To be honest with you, when I started it, I kept saying to me, oh, these are going to take forever. And I'm thinking, well, when I make 2 socks, it's still fine. So until I got to a point where I could start to see it, and all of a sudden it was, oh, when I'm done, I'm done. Like when I'm done this, I'm done the socks. And so I can understand why if people have that second sock syndrome, that this really is a method that will help. But
I think you should put on a tutorial on how to do that on YouTube.
To set it up.
How to do that. Do you think you could do that, or is it complicated?
It is a little complicated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try on the next couple of pairs of socks that I'm making to do them 2 at a time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make some for my son Thomas, and I have 2 50-gram skeins, and so that's going to allow me to do 2 at a time again. So that's really the only thing I'm working on right now.
Well, you've been very busy, with your retirement parties. I mean, we have to go to another retirement party, but it's fun. I don't know what you're going to do when you retire. You're going to be, going into culture shock when you don't have a dinner to go to, or a party to go to, or a speech to say.
But I think that's when you get together with people that you worked with and said, hi, how's it going? What's new?
Right.
So that's good. What I want
it helps that, I'm just going to say this, it helps that you're very well respected in your field.
Oh, thank you.
And so you're going to be very missed at work because people at work have been saying, how they're going to replace her, and I don't think they can yet. So anyway, you're going to be very missed, and
thank you for that.
That's
very thoughtful for you to say that. That's okay. What I wanted to share with you is something that I purchased, probably a year and a half ago, and that is a sock ruler. And I'm starting to see these sock rulers in stores here. I ordered mine online. So I'll just show you how it works. So this is the adult's version. There's a child's version. So I bought the one, and there's a baby version.
Hold these up, Delia.
Perfect. And I'm going to show you how it works, just so that you can see that it's helpful. So you just stick the ruler in like that, and then you can see how much you have to measure. Now, you could take a ruler, that's fine and dandy, but it's nice to see if I put a foot in there, how far. So I know for me, I've got to get to about 8 inches, so I'm in good shape. You don't want to stretch, because the very first hat that I ever knit, I was in grade 7. This is actually quite funny. It was purple, by the way. And I knit this hat, and I pulled it, and I said, oh, this fits. And what happens is it springs back. It was in garter stitch, so it springs back. So all of a sudden I had this hat that was only here on my head. So I had to knit, I think my mom helped me with this. I had to knit another band, and then we sewed it together.
Oh, so the hat would fit.
Yes. So now I know, don't grab this and stretch and say, oh, it's long enough, because your feet would be not so happy.
So then you just place this on here gently to where you think.
Yep.
And then
measures, and you know how much further you go. There are charts around that you can find out, and I found one, and
you like these? You use these a lot.
I do use them a lot.
And where did you get these again?
I got them online. It's if you just Google, it's called www.sockruler.com, and I was thrilled. The service was great. It came quickly. So I was really, really thrilled with those.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep,
All right,
perfect.
good.
All right, so that is my work in progress and a little tool that I like to use. And next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Our adventure today takes us to Owen Sound and Meaford, Ontario. And we visited in Meaford, Purrsonally Yours.
Yes.
And in Owen Sound, we visited Riverside Yarns. But Colleen will talk about those a little bit later. Now, on our trip up to Owen Sound, we went back in March, which was very cold and
Yeah, it was.
icy.
It was.
And on the way up, we ran into this place called Alpaca Time. Is that what it was called?
That's exactly the name.
And
Perfect.
we did an episode, I'll put the number of the episode below. And we talked all about that because we couldn't believe that find of alpaca time. There was no alpacas out, it was very cold, there was snow.
Yeah, it was.
But it was all, there was a little video all about their little workshop in the back and how they do yarn, so you can view that if you like to.
Exactly, it's fascinating. I'm once again 4.5 minutes to make a sock. Oh my goodness! But anyway,
It was
the socks are
fascinating.
beautiful.
Yeah. So on our way up to Owen Sound, we did find this little gem of alpaca time. And so we thought we'd have to come back in spring, and which we did recently, and very different place because when we were there in March, it was cold, it was snowing, as you can see from the photos. This time, no snow, the alpacas were out. We got some cute photos of the alpacas.
They
There
were
was
so
a couple
cute.
of them.
Oh
They were
my
so
goodness.
cute. And they're just on loan from a person in Owen Sound. They're not theirs, but they're on loan. So you can see the alpaca time video, but this is all about Owen Sound and our way up to Owen Sound. The drive up there is wonderful because it's about 3.5 hours from our hometown, maybe a little bit less. We take the scenic route because
Yes,
we
we
stop
do.
off and we do this and we have
Yeah.
coffee and then we have lunch.
That's why it's such a good adventure.
The weather was good.
Yeah, it was.
Let me see. The population of Owen Sound is only 21,000. It seems like a little more there. I don't know why.
Maybe
but
it's more spread out. I think than London.
maybe it is spread
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Lovely little place.
Yes,
It's on the Georgian Bay. Like there's Lake Huron is here, and then off of Lake Huron there's this little bay. It's called Georgian Bay, and on the south point of Georgian Bay is Owen Sound, and then across half an hour to the east is Meaford.
Right.
So they're quite close.
Yeah.
But what a lovely little place. Back in the day, in the 1800s, Owen Sound was known for its rowdiness, like its taverns and brothels.
Oh my goodness.
There was actually this place called Lewis. It was a steakhouse, and it was this great big house, and that used to be the brothel. And the lady would be out there, and all the ships would come in.
Oh my
So
goodness.
and with that comes, some problems. So in the 1900s, so later on, the city became too difficult because the city just banned having taverns until 1972.
Oh
They
my
weren't allowed to do
goodness.
that.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know.
So, yeah. So then, but it's a great little fishing place, and as you can see from the photos, we went to the hotel in the winter when we went in March when it was cold. Colleen thought we would see water. We didn't know it was all frozen
There were
over.
people ice fishing. Yep, I was wrong.
It was funny. So it was, but you'll see the pictures, that difference,
Exactly.
what a month or two can make. And so the people were fishing there. So there's a lot of fishing, there's festivals, there's trails. It's known for its waterfalls because it is on the Niagara Escarpment.
Yes.
And we were able to go to this place called Irish Mountain View and Irish Mountain Lookout.
Lookout, I think.
Yeah. And so it takes you all the way up these cliffs, and you go up and then you get these nice views, and we got some good photo opportunities.
beautiful.
We also went to Inglis Falls, which is one of the waterfalls that they have there, and we got some good photos there too.
Yes. So if you look, May has some of us with pictures from the winter and some pictures from this one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
so
be
that's
great.
it's interesting to see the
The
contrast.
difference,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, also Owen Sound and Meaford were the location of the Disney movie One Magic Christmas. So a lot of their filming was done there. So I would like to get that movie, One Magic
Exactly,
Christmas,
that'd be
just to
great.
see if we can recognize some of those places. Because we often go to Owen Sound because it's so beautiful up there,
Exactly.
Collingwood and
Yeah.
and Meaford. It's just because
Exactly.
it's such a nice little, when there's boats, how can you go wrong? When the
Exactly,
sun's
it's
out and there's
beautiful.
boats around. What else? So there's just parks, festivals, there's trails, so worth a trip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a great time, and now you can talk a little bit about maybe the yarn
stores.
stores there. Yeah.
All right. So alpaca time we've spoken about. We'll talk a little bit more about that in souvenirs. And we decided we tried to go to Riverside Yards first, and they were closed because there was going to be a special day. The Knit in Public Day was on the Saturday, and so I think they were getting ready for that. So that worked out fine because we headed off to Meaford and we went to the store that's called Purrsonally Yours. So there's the card. I'll get May to take a picture of it. And the owner's name is Isabel, but she was away. And Isabel is the one that does all the work with the yarns. And Marion is the quilter, excellent
Expert
sewer. And so she does all the quilting and could answer questions about the fabric. And she was lovely, and we got to see, you know, I wandered around the yarn and May looked at the fabric, and it was just nice. And
A nice little store.
yeah, we got to hear little stories, and
There was a customer in there, so we had a nice little conversation.
Marion was helping her out, and so it's nice in a small town like that. It's really the nice feel of that. So I need to know what yarns they have. So just to mention, Regia, Merino, Lopi, Sirdar, Manostil, Uruguay. There is a colorway, and May has a picture of it. You're going to see it. And I said, where was that? I didn't see it. So that's what happens to us. She's taking pictures. I'm just doing my thing. And all of a sudden,
I come home and Colleen go, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. So there is a yarn crawl colorway. So up around Meaford, Owen Sound, Shelburne, Barrie, there's a yarn crawl that goes on. So hopefully we'll be able to do a little crawling in the summer. That would be great. And so there's a yarn colorway that they had as well. But I really, really liked the store. There was lots of things to see. And I always think project bags and all those kind of things when I'm looking at all the fabric. So I like both parts of that. So that was Purrsonally Yours in Meaford. And that is on, let me tell you, it is on 35 Sykes Street North in Meaford. So that's
off
Purrsonally
Highway
Yours.
26, I would imagine, because that's the highway that Meaford's in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next store was called Riverside Yarns, and that is the one that is on 2nd Ave East in Owen Sound. And it's a lovely store. It's really well set up. They have lots and lots of samples. So lots of times I'll say to me, take a picture of this, take a picture of this, because they've labeled it with the yarn that they used and how many skeins you need. And I really like that in a store because I like going on Ravelry, but Ravelry's huge, as most of you know. It's a huge thing to do, and when you can just see and you're right where the yarns are, you can see how it knits up, so it works out really well.
Now, it's a new owner in that store.
They're going to start in July, the new owner, I think, yes.
And so that'll be interesting. When somebody else takes it over, they have new ideas and different way of doing things, so we might have to take a trip back there.
Oh, that would be a shame to have to go to a yarn store. I would be so sad. It would be just horrible. Better start saving my pennies, I'm just saying.
Well, I really like the drive up there, and what I didn't mention in our adventure piece was we rented a cabin. I didn't talk about that at all.
No,
but
let's talk about it.
Yeah, so it was a KOA cabin, and the KOA camp up there was just lovely. I mean, it's not spectacular, you know, but it had the pool, and we sat out by the pool. The weather was great.
I knit by the pool. That was my knitting in public.
And the Bruce Trail is right behind it, and it was just convenient. I don't know. I would definitely go back to the KOA there.
It was great.
And we sat out by, had the campfire.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was awesome, wasn't it?
It was.
And
it
it helps
really
that the
good.
weather was good, that it wasn't raining or snowing.
It was.
So.
But I think that's why we decided to rent the cabin instead of tent, because we just thought if we're going to be there for 2 nights and it's going to pour rain.
Right.
So
and we're working, and we didn't have time to put the tent up. But we are in a podcast going to put that tent up. I can promise you that. And we'll put it on. It'll be quite comical, actually, as putting a 10-man tent up.
There might be a few little bleeps, because sometimes it gets a little interesting when you have to put up the
From
tent.
you or from me?
What do you think?
That's usually from me.
It's usually from you, but that's okay. So Riverside Yarns was great. They have some Riverside Studio yarns. They have Rowan, they have Lichen and Lace, which I fell in love with. They have Earth, they have Unique, they have Malabrigo, Manostil Uruguay. They have some King Cole yarns. They have project bags and pom-poms and all kinds of neat stuff to see. And
While we were there, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem.
While we were there, it was we were thinking, why are all these streets blocked off? Because we couldn't park and everything was blocked off. And then we kept saying, they're very gay friendly here because they have all the flags around and there was rainbows everywhere. And we're like, wow, this is amazing. Who knew? It was the Pride Parade.
It was. So the good news is the store opened at 10. I shopped till 11. And then there was the parade.
The parade took about, if you blinked, you missed it. It's not like the Toronto Pride Parade. But it was really nice to see everybody out there for 15 minutes, and people were happy. And just the Pride Parade is always a good thing because everybody's so happy and accepting, and it's just very nice. So, so who knew? But it was lovely.
That was part of our adventure.
Yeah.
So that was our adventure. So next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My souvenirs. Oh my goodness. So understand this is 2 trips put together. So it's going to look like I spend all my money. But
you have to rationalize this, don't you?
Yeah.
You really do. You're trying to rationalize. It's not working. It's just...
it's working for me. So I'm good. It's working for me. So let's start. So when we went to alpaca time the first time, I bought a skein of yarn. Oh, there's something I meant to mention, so I'll mention it right now. And it was kind of a camel color, like a taupey kind of color, and I was really happy with that. I looked at the yarn this time, and they actually had some variegated yarn, some blues, and it was really, really pretty. So they're just starting to do that. But I didn't buy yarn because I had my eye on these socks, and I didn't buy them in March. It's hilarious that I'm buying socks in the summer. It doesn't make any sense at all. But I wanted to get some. And in honest fact, I would have bought purple if I'd bought them in March, but I decided to get some blue ones. And there's all different kinds of sizes and combinations of what's in them. So this is a blue, white, marl, white stripe. It's called a Star Trekker sock. They're not cheap by any means, but what I really like is you get small, medium, large. And these are really nice and soft. And I think they'll go nice with a pair of jeans.
Yep.
So I was really, really happy with those because I had been thinking about it since March. I thought, nope, I want to get some because it'll be nice and comfy around the house.
I'm just looking at the price again.
It's okay. I only have one pair.
You paid $35 for socks?
They're alpaca socks.
Oh,
they're going to keep my feet very warm.
$35, but
and I have a pair of lovely waterproof shoes.
I've been looking for the shoes to go with them for that much.
Oh, okay. Well, you can try that.
No, but they're probably worth it. Like
they are absolutely worth it.
Okay, well, you let us know after you wear them if they were worth it. Wow.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So that's from alpaca time. Then we went to Meaford, as we mentioned, and so I looked around for yarn, and I've mentioned in the previous podcast that there's lots of babies happening in families, and people that I work with, either they're having the babies or their kids are having the babies, and so I wanted to get something that would work for that. So this is from James C. Brett. It's called Driftwood DK, and I have to tell you, this is anti-pilling acrylic, and I've worked with some of that, and there's a softness to it.
Very soft.
It is, and I am thrilled with this. So I think there will be enough in that I can make May some kind of cowl, because I think that would be nice.
Design something would be cool.
Yes, I'm going to try and design. So I might work on that, designing something, and if there's any bit left over, I'll either make a wee pair of socks, a wee pair of boots. If there's enough for a hat, we'll see what we can do.
I love how people name their yarn the colors, because I look at this, it looks like driftwood
Well, driftwood is the name of this whole line so there's a whole bunch of colors. The colorway in this case actually has a DW04.
Oh.
Yeah, but I honestly thought the same thing. I thought, well, the brown in there looks like driftwood. That makes sense. Yeah, it's nice. I really was happy with that.
Nice.
So we've been having the thing, do you knit for a boy? Do you knit for a girl? Do you knit gray so it's okay for both? And then I think, okay, well, some of the people that I'm knitting for, they're far away, and some of them have made decisions. They don't want to know whether it's a boy or a girl.
I think gender neutral is a good way to go.
Yes, so I think that's what I'll do.
I think the boy and girl thing's kind of passé.
I would agree with you. So I liked this because I think it could be for either or. Nice. So it's great. And I found some fabric, and I bought the end of the bolt.
Oh, if you got the end, if you used the whole bolt, you got it on sale.
It was 30% off. Oh my goodness. So if you look at that.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. So
love that color.
It's May's favorite color in there. Yeah. That lovely kind of blue.
Look what I'm wearing.
Yes.
It is my favorite color.
It is your favorite color. So I may make her a bag that she can throw a towel in if she's going to a swimming pool or at the beach. Mm-hmm. But I was really pleased with that. I'm going to make a project bag for me as well.
I don't know. Maybe a cowl out of that would be nice.
I don't know if I can knit you one, but I can make a kerchief.
Yeah, or something like that. Cool.
It's good.
Yeah, I love the colors.
Good. So that was at Purrsonally Yours. So a little yarn and a little quilting fabric. So that's good. And now we're going to talk about Riverside yarns. I will talk about what happened in March, and then I'll talk about what happened. So when I was there in March, I knew I wanted to get some Riverside Studio yarns. It's Canadian yarn. This is Merino Cashmere Silk. Oh my goodness. And the colorway is called Storm. And if you feel that,
It looks like a tornado.
it looks a little bit like a tornado, but it's
Colors
so
are beautiful.
soft. And it's gonna, because of the silk, it'll have a bit of a
Right.
shine to it. And I'm really, really pleased
And what
with
do you
it.
will be knitting with this? Made in Canada, Riverside Studio.
Exactly.
And what will you be making with this?
I'm either going to put it with a navy blue and make a shawl that's 2 colors. There's a possibility I have a really good idea to
Right.
do that. Or I just make a one skein shawl.
Right. Probably a good idea before these podcasts take the price off, because when I kind of have a reaction.
Well, when you have merino and you have cashmere and you have silk,
I'm looking behind this yarn going, you can't see my face, but I'm like,
it's okay.
oh, yeah. But it is lovely.
all right.
It is lovely.
And you always have to decide, is it worth it to you? Right? And it's not all super expensive yarn, to be honest with you. And I'll show you what I'm going to show you next. It wasn't expensive yarn. So
I
there
just
are-
happened to see the price on this one.
Exactly. So the trick is you have to look at it and say, is it worth it to you? Right?
Right.
So that's what you have to do. So I bought 2 different colors of this, and you won't have a reaction to this price. So this is King Cole Drifter. This is called Baby Duchess. And what's yours called?
King Cole Drifter, Baby Breeze.
Baby Breeze. And so there's our pink and there's our blue. And so I'm going to make probably some hats and socks and those kind of things. And then they would be easy to ship away.
Yeah.
And I can wait till babies
That's
are born.
great.
Yeah. And then once again, it's nice and soft. I don't
It is
think
soft.
this is cotton and wool and acrylic. So there's just a little bit of wool, but that's going to make
Yeah,
it feel
just
that little bit
6%
softer.
wool.
Exactly.
Nice though.
Right. So this is from Skipton, UK.
It's from the UK.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, made under license in Turkey for King Cole.
Wow. So
Yeah.
the UK yarn is more inexpensive than our Canadian yarn.
Well, that's
it
got
depends on what's in
cashmere
it.
and
Yeah,
silk.
well, when you have
Yeah.
cashmere, then you know the
Exactly.
price goes up.
All right, so that was what happened in March. And the funny thing is, I try to do my best to not use what I bought as a souvenir until we've had a podcast with it. And some of this has been calling to me, and I've been very good, and I haven't dealt with it. So that's why you're seeing a lot of little things that I've been doing, but we go through. All right, my 2 at a time sock obsession led me to this. And this is, and there's what the socks are going to look like. And this is a special kit that comes with 2 pre-wound skeins into little cakes. And what that's going to allow you to do is get 2 socks that look exactly the same.
Wow.
Exactly. So I
That's
love
nice.
the colors. Yeah, it's nice that they have it so it shows you what it's going to look like. And I have worked with some of the unique yarns, and I'm really, really liked working with them.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Very nice. So that's that. Now, there was a shawl. And what I'm going to ask May is to put the name of the shawl right here. Because I fell in love with the shawl, and then I had to find some yarn. So this is both lichen and lace, and I'm going to cover up price tags. It's not. I really, really like it, and it's going to be one of those ones that you have forever. So lichen and lace, it's superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's matte sock is what it's called. So this is natural, and this one is called... Can you read what it's
Lace.
Teal tide.
Oh, steel tide.
Tea tide, lichen and lace. So this shawl has some mosaic knitting in it, and I've tried a little bit of it, and I really like the big contrast between those 2. That's nice and soft, so I think it's going to make a great shawl.
Very nice. Nice contrast.
And I thought I was done, and then I got up to the till, and then there was a basket with these lovely things in it. So I'm shaking it up so you can see it. So that is the pom-pom, and I have a few pom-poms at home, but this one has a special thing with it, and I'm not sure. I'm going to try and hold it so you can see. So it's one of the pom-poms that has the snap on the bottom, and so it I don't have, oh, there, I did it. That's good.
Snaps off.
So this part snaps off. You sew that part to the hat, and then the other part is there. And so once it's sewn, and if you go to wash your hat,
You just take that off.
you take that off. So that's going to be brilliant. I'm happy about this. I bought some yarn that is kind of a, it's not quite dark as black, but it's kind of a gray and white. And this is going to be
Oh,
beautiful
that'll
on the
because it's
top.
got little tips of gray
And
and
black.
black.
I
on
know.
The tips
I'm
there.
absolutely thrilled with
Yeah,
that. So
that'll
let's
be
see.
nice.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like that.
Beautiful. So that's that. It is a lot of souvenirs. I've got a lot of knitting to do, but the nice thing is summer is going to be upon us, and I will have more time for knitting. And we like to go for drives in the summer, and you like to drive, and I like to knit, and so we do those
It
things.
works
in
out
the
so
summer.
good. It's a good.
It
good
works
thing.
really
It works
well. So we want to thank you very much for watching our podcast. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell us what you'd like to see. If there's a place that you think we should go visit, we really would like to hear from you. So thank you so much, and until next time,
You take care.